is my third video on the 1993-ish Pachinko machine. This time I'm going to demonstrate a bit what the gameplay looks like, and hopefully that'll make it a little bit more clear, bring home some of the things that I've talked about previously. This assumes that two things are already set up. The top hopper here is loaded with balls, and there is a catch tray here at the bottom to catch balls that go out the gutter or various other places from the gameplay. So I will take a tray of balls, dump them in here. I think in an actual parlor you would buy trays of balls for a certain number for a certain price, and then they'd give you several trays and you'd load them as you needed them. So anyway, once those are loaded, you grab the plunger knob, shooter knob, whatever you want to call it, and the metal ring at the same time, and you twist, and the play light comes on, and the balls start going. Lots of balls bouncing around. Okay. And you can see the slot machine action going on there. And I did not match all three of the numbers, which is what's required to get into fever mode. You will notice that all the balls that I shot ended up back here in the back tray because I did not hit any of the bonus payout targets. And there's a couple of things. I don't know if it came through on the video at all, so I'm going to try to make a point of increasing the volume. There's a speaker built into this front panel right here, into the bottom above the ashtray. And inside here is a volume control switch. It's on its lowest setting right now, but I will change it up to the middle and then the high setting so that you can actually hear what the audio sounds like. So let me do that. Close this up and we'll fire again. And I managed to get two balls into the try gate here and ran the slot machine twice and did not score. You may have also heard the bell ring, and I got two payouts of 7 balls each, and then all of the rest of the balls went into the catch tray at the back. So what I will do is open up the machine so that I can manually operate some of the various features and show you exactly what's doing what. So this thing labeled try is what's required to bring the slot machine online and to try to get into the fever mode. So what I'm going to do is just use a pen and activate the switch manually. Fortunately, the game doesn't care if these switches are being activated as a result of balls bouncing around or if you're activating them by hand. It really makes no difference. So all of these things here, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, these are all targets that you can drop a ball into and get 7 balls out. So I'll just drop one in manually if I can. And 7 balls come out. 1 ball drops into the back. The same thing with these other ones. There's also a special rotary target up here. If a ball goes into that, it still accomplishes the same thing, but it has to wait until the bucket catches the ball, drops it through, and then out comes the 7 balls. So what I will do is I will pause the video and see if I can get this machine into fever mode, although the odds are over 1 in 300 of getting it into fever mode. So it may take a lot of balls into the try target here, or a lot of activations of that try target before I get into that. So I will pause and try to bring you back when we actually have something to show you. Okay, now we have to get one into the pocket while the claw was open there, and then it will put the ball up a little ramp there. And now it needs us to put a ball into the spinning target, if I can. Once it registers that, then this little flap here will open up, and I can shoot balls in there. Each ball I get in there is worth 15 bonus balls, and then that closes after a few seconds, and then you shoot into the rotary target again, and wait until it rotates around, picks up the ball, and there it goes again. It counts the number of balls that get dropped in here, and for every ball that gets dropped in there, it gives you 15. The one thing you have to be careful about is overfilling this bottom tray. If you're not shooting enough balls out, this bottom tray can overfill, and you'll get an E1 error. So if you're getting a lot of balls backed up in this tray, empty some of them out into the lower tray. Now, if you don't hit this target eventually, within a certain period of time, the machine will time out of fever mode. And there it goes open again. So we'll drop in a ball. It registers it. Get another ball in the rotary target. The door opens up. We drop in another ball. As you can see, we're up to level 4. The machine will keep doing this until we get up to level 16. And I will bring you back for that. All right, we're up to level 13 now. And one thing I need to point out is to run it all the way up to the next level, you always have to sink one in the rotary target, and then once the little door opens, you have to drop one into the little flap here. If you miss one of those steps for too long, and this has a very short timeout, this is like 10 seconds, then it will drop out of fever mode. Now there's a reason why you would want to run it up in fever mode up to level 16, and I will show you that here shortly. If anybody has any idea what he's saying, please do drop it in the comments. All right, we've run it up to level 16. And we get an award there. Now you notice that we're out of fever mode, but you notice that we have the same wheels that we had before, but the background is now a slightly different color, and the digits here are in blue. That's sort of important because that denotes that we're in a slightly different mode. We've entered a mode where the odds of getting into fever mode on any particular roll go up by a factor of 10. So where previously you'd have to hit it like 300 some odd times um, to go into fever mode, now it's like 1 in 30 times. So that's a really important thing to know, although it only works one time. Once you have gone through this, get into the enhanced 10 times odds mode, and if you run it through, all 16 levels under that mode, then you just drop back down to the normal odds of scoring mode again. One other thing that's worth noting is that in this whole process, I have once emptied this tray out and poured it back into the top tray on the back. But even doing that, you notice the yellow light is on, which means that my top tray back there is emptying out of balls. And so I'm risking getting into a point where the machine won't function correctly if I don't refill that. So that's part of the reason why you need to have a lot of balls for this machine to function properly if you're actually going to play it as an actual machine would be played in a parlor. So I would I would suggest having at least 1,000 balls to put into the machine, if not more. But during the time when you're in fever mode, because you'll be um, getting more return out of the payouts, you need to make sure that you stay on top of the balls accumulating in this top tray and hit that slide button periodically to drain these out, because otherwise uh, they will back up in the machine and you will end up with an error message, which there is no way of clearing one of these error messages, an E1 error message, which means that your payout is backed up. You can't clear that. The game will continue operating, but it will show an error message, and I don't think it'll operate in fever mode. And um, the only way to clear that is to actually cycle the power on the machine. So be aware of that. There's also an error 2 message, which you will sometimes get if if there are not a sufficient number of payout balls in the mechanism in the back. So um, that is kind of the operation of the machine in a nutshell. And so that's where I will stop this video.